In this video I will show you how to multiply whole numbers, and I'm going to do it in two different versions. I'm going to do it in the English version that most English speaking countries people are familiar with, and I'm going to show you side by side the multiplication laid out in a European way. So let's get started with the English system. For example, we've got a number 207 will be multiplied by a two-digit number, say 34. This is how it's written up for multiplication, and this is how it goes. I'm gonna say out loud the steps of it, and you'll see that they will be very similar to the in terms of procedure, very similar or identical to the European version. The layout of the multiplication is the only thing that's going to be different. So 207 is a number that's to be multiplied, and because of that it's called a multiplicand, or a number to be multiplied. And 34 is the number that you multiplied the multiplicand with, and it is just called multiplier. Now, to do this in this format here, first you take the ones digit in the multiplier and you multiply it with the ones digit in the multiplicand. 4 by 7 is 28, so you write down the 8 here, and the 20 is a carryover amount. It gets typically written down there on top of the tens column. So in essence 23 is written down, the ones digit is lined up with the ones digit, and its 10 digit, the 2, is in line with the tens there on top of the tens column. Next thing to do is multiply the ones digits in the multiplier with the tens digit in the multiplicand. 4 times 0 is 0, and now we have to add the remainder here, or the tens value from the previous subtotal. So 4 times 0 is 0, plus 2 is 2, and that gets written down here because it has a place value of tens here. Last step there that way. The ones digit in the multiplier gets multiplied with the hundreds digits in the multiplicand. 2 by 4, that's 8, and because it's got a place value of 100, it gets written down in the hundreds column. Next one, we have an extra step here. We have to offset the next line with one place value, because we are done with multiplying the one digit in the multiplier. Now we are working with the tens, and because we are working with the tens, we offset the next line with one place value, because we are not multiplying with 3 by 7, we are actually multiplying 30 with 7, so we write down an extra 0 there. 3 by 7 is 21, and the 1 gets written down there. The 2 is gets written down on top of the tens column there. Next one is 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is 0, and we add these 2 to it, but because it's the previous one was 7 times 30 in essence, and we ended up with hundreds. This is these 2, I guess, could have been written up there in the hundreds column to keep it consistent, and I'm just gonna scribble this one over here. It's the same 2, I just repositioned it here. So 3 by 0 is 0, plus the 2 is 2, and that one gets written down there. Last thing to do, the tens digits in the multiplier gets multiplied with the hundreds digits in the multiplicand. 2 by 3 is 6, and it gets written down here. It gets regrouped as 1,000, and then we add up the two subtotals. The result from multiplying the ones with the ones in the multiplier with the multiplicand, and multiplying the tens digits in the multiplier with the whole multiplicand. Those two subtotals are written here, and they are added. 8 plus 0, 8, 2 plus 1, 3, 8 plus 2 is 10, and you write down the 0 when the 1 is carried over to the next column here. 6 plus 1, 7. So the answer is 7,038. Now with the European layout, it's the same thing, but laid out differently. 207 times 34, that's how it's written up, and you underline 207 there, and that's where multiplication starts. So in this one, you take the tens digit first and you multiply it with the ones digit there. 7 by 3 is 21, and the 2 gets written up there on top of the 10 because it's a 10. It's got a place value of a 10. Next one, the tens digits in the multiplier gets multiplied with the tens digits in the multiplicand. 3 by 0 is 0, and you add the 2 to it. There's a 2. Next one is you take the tens digits in the multiplier and you multiply it with the hundreds digits in the multiplicand, and you have a total of 6 here. 2 by 3 is 6, and because those were the tens and the ones have one place value less, they have to be shifted to the right, whereas these numbers got shifted to the left. In this layout, we have to shift the ones digits to the right, and we are gonna multiply the ones digits in the multiplicand with the ones digits in the multiplier, and 4 by 7 is 28. Sorry guys, and there we go, 28, and 2 is a remainder. You can also keep it on your hand. 4 by 0 is the next one. Let me just show you with the arrows as well. 4 by 0 is 0, plus the 2 is 2, because that 2 was the remainder from the previous timesing. Lastly, 4 times 2 is 8, and the 8 gets written down there. And then you add standard procedure. 8 plus 0 is 0, 2 plus 1 is 3, 8 plus 2 is 10, and the 1 gets written down there. 6 plus 1, 7. 7,038, either which way. That's how numbers multiply in writing with the English and European layouts. It's got to be the same. It's got the same concept built into it. They are just laid out differently. Use any of them, it doesn't matter. It's got to have the same result.